Most people think loneliness comes from being alone, no people around, no one to call, no one who understands. But that's not true. Loneliness doesn't come from empty rooms. Loneliness comes from an empty plan. And if there's one fictional character who mastered this better than almost anyone else, it's Michael Scofield. Michael doesn't need a crowd. He doesn't need constant company. He doesn't need to be understood by everyone around him. While the rest of Fox River is forming alliances out of fear, chasing power, screaming for attention, Michael sits in his cell, silent, sketching something no one else can see. And that silence is not sadness. It's not isolation. It's strategy. That's exactly why Michael survives when smarter, stronger, louder men don't. Not because he has more friends, not because he has more support, but because he learned how to be alone without being weak. So if your life feels lonely, if the silence around you feels heavy, if you feel forgotten, overlooked, disconnected, there are powerful lessons you can learn from Michael Scofield. And these lessons don't just ease loneliness, they turn it into something you can use. Let's break them down. Lesson 1. Michael turns solitude into preparation. Most people treat alone time as dead time. They scroll, they complain, they wait for someone to save them from the silence. Michael never does this. Every hour alone is an hour spent building the plan. Every quiet night is a night spent memorizing the blueprint. He doesn't wait for company to feel productive. He uses the emptiness. Loneliness feeds on wasted time. Michael starves it with purpose. Lesson 2. Michael trusts almost no one, and that protects him. This is where most people means more safety. Michael knows better. He shares only what's necessary with only who's necessary, only when it's necessary. Not because he hates people, but because he understands that a plan told to everyone is a plan that belongs to no one. Selective trust isn't coldness, it's control. Lesson 3. Michael carries the weight so others don't have to. Notice something about him. He rarely asks for help. Even when he's breaking apart inside, he absorbs the pressure of the entire plan alone because he'd rather suffer in silence than risk the people he loves. That's not isolation for its own sake. That's a choice. Most people feel lonely because they're waiting to be rescued. Michael never waits. He builds the exit himself. Lesson 4. Michael speaks only when words move the plan forward. Pay attention to this. Michael doesn't fill silence with noise. He doesn't explain himself to people who wouldn't understand anyway. He doesn't perform connection for the sake of looking connected. His silence isn't emptiness, it's precision. In a world obsessed with constant conversation, the quiet man is the one who's actually thinking. Lesson 5. Michael turns pain into calculated action. Every loss Michael experiences, a brother in danger, a plan collapsing, a betrayal, gets converted into the next move. He doesn't spiral. He doesn't sit in despair for long. He redirects the pain into the next line on the blueprint. Loneliness, left alone, becomes grief. Loneliness converted becomes fuel. Lesson 6. Michael never confuses being alone with being unloved. This is the quiet truth underneath everything he does. Michael isolates himself physically, but he never once forgets who he's doing it for. His brother, the people he's protecting. His solitude has a destination. It's not empty distance, it's a road towards something. That's the difference between loneliness that hollows you out and solitude that has a reason. Lesson 7. Michael finds meaning in purpose, not in company. Most people search for meaning in who's around them. Michael finds it in what he's building. A plan, a promise, a reason to keep moving. And once meaning comes from purpose instead of people, loneliness loses its grip. You stop needing a room full of company to feel like your life matters. Lesson 8. Michael never lets silence turn into self-pity. This is the trait that separates him from everyone else who breaks under isolation. Michael allows himself to feel the weight, but never to drown in it. He doesn't ask, why is this happening to me? He asks, what's the next move? Self-pity keeps you in the cell. A plan gets you out of it. And this is the final truth. Loneliness is not caused by an empty room. Loneliness is caused by an empty plan. Michael Scofield was surrounded by walls, guards, enemies, and still he was never as trapped as the men around him who had nothing to build toward. So if you're feeling lonely in your life, don't look for a crowd. Don't look for constant noise. Don't look for someone to fill the silence for you. Look for a plan. Use the alone time. Trust selectively. Carry your own weight until you're strong enough to share it. Speak less. Think more. Turn the pain into the next move. Loneliness fades when purpose appears. And the man with a plan is never really alone.